Dear Senate President, may I be given a chance to speak?
Prayer one. That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. I'll put a question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we just witnessed in the Nigerian Senate is nothing short of a calculated and well-orchestrated silencing of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Without granting her a fair hearing, the Senate discarded her petition against Senate President Godswill Akpabio the same day she submitted it. Instead of following due process, they hurriedly suspended her for 6 months, stripping her of salary, benefits, and voice. The speed at which this was executed raises a fundamental question. What exactly are they trying to hide? Why was there such urgency to shut her down? Let's take a deep dive into this issue, because if justice can be denied this blatantly at the highest level of government, what does that say about the common man's chances of getting justice in this country? Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan had a serious allegation, an accusation of sexual harassment against the Senate President himself. This is not a light matter. Such an accusation, by any standard of law, requires proper investigation. But rather than allowing justice to take its course, the Senate, under Akpabio's leadership, threw out the petition without consideration. Let's pause and analyze this. How does someone accused of misconduct get to oversee their own case? It is absurd. It defies logic and common sense. The petition was not just dismissed, it was trashed with urgency, as if the Senate had already made up its mind before she even spoke. And if we are being honest, that is exactly what happened. The Senate President, knowing fully well that Natasha was going to present a petition against him, should have stepped down and allowed his deputy to preside over that section. That is what any honorable leader would have done in the name of fairness. But what did he do instead? He sat there in that chair and received a petition against himself. That action alone was a clear message. Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan was never going to get justice. But what is even more shocking is the silence from the senators, especially those from our own party, the PDP. Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan is a PDP senator, yet not a single senator from the opposition party stood up to defend her right to a fair hearing. Even the PDP as a party has not issued any statement either in support of her or against her. Their silence speaks volumes. Are we now dealing with a legislative body that functions more like a court than a democratic institution. And let's talk about the ethics committee. The chairman of this committee, a member of the Labour Party, outrightly declared that Akpabio could never harass anyone. Imagine that. He passed judgment before even hearing both sides, without conducting any investigation, without calling for witnesses. This is a complete betrayal of justice, when the very body is responsible for ensuring fairness and discipline in the Senate is already biased from the start. Then what chances does the truth have? If justice had been the priority, yes, what should have happened? 1. The petition should have been accepted and assigned to an impartial committee. Secondly, Akpabio should have stepped aside to allow his deputy to preside over the proceedings. Thirdly, the ethics committee should have invited both Akpoti Uduaghan and Akpabio for questioning, taking their statements under oath. Fourthly, the committee should have conducted an independent and transparent investigation, gathering all necessary evidence. And fifthly, the findings should have been presented before the entire Senate for deliberation and voting. But none of these happened. Instead, the entire Senate focused on punishing Natasha for allegedly bringing the Senate to disrepute. But let's be clear, her accusations were against Akpabio as an individual, not the Senate as an institution. So why is the Senate taking this personally? Why are they closing ranks to protect one man instead of upholding justice? This case has really exposed a bitter truth about this country politics. Many senators will never speak out against the system because they are too comfortable with the wealth and privileges that come with their positions. To speak up would mean risking suspension, financial loss, and political isolation. They are more loyal to their bank accounts than to justice. There is no more patriotism in the system. Instead of fighting for the people who elected them, they fight to protect their own selfish interests. And this is why we see no real progress. This is why corruption strives. This is why women continue to be silenced when they speak out about harassment and abuse. Because those in power would rather protect themselves than do what is right. But beyond Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan case, this incident reveals something much deeper about the state of leadership in this country. If a sitting senator can be treated this way for simply filing a petition, what happens to ordinary citizens? If the law can be twisted so easily to favor the powerful, then what hope do everyday Nigerians have? This is why so many people no longer believe in the system, because again and again we see that the rules only apply to the weak, while the strong get away with anything they want. But let's remember something. Justice can be delayed, but it can never be erased. The truth always finds a way to come out. At the end of the day, this entire saga proves one undeniable fact. Godswill Akpabio has done everything in his power to make sure he never answers to these allegations. He ensured the petition was silenced. He also ensured Natasha was removed, and he ensured that the Senate turned a blind eye. But here is the thing, justice cannot be wished away. The truth always finds a way to come out. So friends, what do you think about this case? Is there still hope for justice in this country? Let's discuss in the comments. Thanks for watching and God bless everyone.